We are now witnessing some very significant, really, I would say, moves being made by Ripple. I mean, if we look at what's been happening in just the last, 2 years alone, I mean, it feels like we're on a completely different path around the XRP side of things, at least, than majority of the market. And I really have to address this because we are now witnessing some very big articles coming out. There's some great information coming out as well. And it does pertain to XRP. It does pertain to XRP. It pertains to Ripple and what's really going on behind the scenes. So we definitely have to address this. We have to talk about it. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So let's dive on in. Let's not waste any time here. And let's talk about it. Number one, October 16th of 2024. So just, a couple months ago, Ripple puts out this post, and it is a one-stop shop for business in crypto. And this was at Ripple Swell, right? They promoted this at Ripple Swell. Tokenization, custody, stablecoins, and payments. Now, they actually do include this, right, on the image here. This is what it looks like, right? And it's funny because, if I was an institutional player, if I was a business player, if I was anyone, and I wanted to tap into crypto, I would want everything in one place. It just makes sense. Listen, nobody wants to go, hopping around from one place to the other just to kind of get access to these solutions. They want that one-stop shop. And Ripple being that one-stop shop, guys, this is very important to focus on. This is very important to focus on. This is also why Ripple has been winning for so long. They understand the complexities of business. They've been in business for well over a decade now. But we also go over here because this goes back to 2023 when we first saw Ripple payments, be announced. And we actually have from Monica Long, and let's actually look into this in a thread reader. We have crypto utility starts with payments. And for the last decade, Ripple's focused on key components of infrastructure, liquidity, off-ramps, tokenization, custody, and compliance required for enterprise-grade payments. Today, we're unveiling an end-to-end solution for just that. This is an evolution of our product where our customers can tap into crypto utility without having to be an expert in using this technology. A single onboarding experience with Ripple managing the end-to-end flow to move value at any time as fast and low cost as possible. What does that sound like? For those that have been around for a little bit of time, you might have, watched some of the earlier videos on the channel. You might have, even remembered the original Ripple website with, RippleNet. Yeah, that sounds like just XRP. Okay, and I want you guys to remember this because Ripple Payments does use XRP. In fact, it's integrated with the XRP ledger, the DEX, the AMM, everything that the XRP ledger has to offer. It's all integrated with this, which also means that if we go back to the one-stop shop here, if you're going to tokenize and if you're going to custody, you're not just going to hold those tokenized assets. Okay, you're going to want to utilize those tokenized assets the same way that you would utilize anything else in DeFi, which means that you're going to want to sell, trade, swap, earn yield on them. I mean, this is exactly what we're, thinking of. This is a digital asset market, if you will. Or if you will, it's kind of like a digital financial system as well in the making, which, we already know everything is moving digital. So it makes sense. But also, why am I bringing up all of this, right? Like, this is going back to October. This is going all the way back to November of 2023. Like, you might be saying, well, Nick, why are you bringing up all this old news? Well, let's go over here. This is January 13th of this year. And this got posted by Doge Toshi. And it's funny because we have early wins. Sachs and members of the Trump transition team have been working closely with crypto leaders to finalize a legislative strategy. And Trump is expected to issue executive orders on the first day of his presidency that may address issues including debanking and the repeal of a controversial crypto accounting policy requiring banks holding digital assets to count them as liabilities on the bank's own balance sheet, according to a person involved with the conversations. The Trump team has made it very clear that this is a priority. So this is very interesting, right? But what does it mean? Well, first, let's go over here. We have, and this is from Frank Chaparro. Once large banks can start custodying crypto, they will be able to do anything. Credit equals more liquidity. Major tailwind for crypto market structure and tempering volatility soon. Now people are starting to see the big picture here. Do you understand why for the last couple years we have been following the breadcrumbs? And right now it has left us on a path where we have now finally gotten to the destination where we could finally see the loaf of bread. We could see the big plan in action. Okay? The breadcrumbs have led us to something very interesting here, which is, let's go back to Ripple custody. Okay? We have to talk about Ripple custody because let's go over here. Because Monica Long quoted Frank's post, which I found very interesting. We have agree, Frank. 15 of the 25 largest banks globally have already piloted tokenized asset projects. I expect several of them to launch market-ready offerings in the US in 2025 if they have clarity from the US government to touch crypto. Seems very possible for this to no longer be an issue this year. This is a post you want to take very serious. Why? Well, because it's coming from the this is a very significant post in my opinion for a few things. Let's start with number one. It's coming from the president of Ripple. It's coming from the person who was promoting and marketing Ripple custody for a very long time and talking about how significant it is for big banks, for the big players. But it's also confirming the fact that, yeah, the environment around crypto is changing this year. And if we have a green light on big banks to finally be able to touch crypto, that means that those tokenized asset projects that have been piloted and trialed, they finally launch. I don't think that I have to tell you that this is 15 of the 25 largest banks, not in the US, globally, that have these tokenized asset projects. That means this isn't millions of dollars. This isn't billions of dollars. This is trillions of dollars. Now, we definitely have to focus on this, but I do believe that this happens this year. I am right on, with Monica Long here. I do think that 2025 is the year where we start to see the US, stepping on the gas and saying, all right, yeah, we can't let this go by any longer. We need to embrace this. We need to accept this. We need to move forward on this. Which also leads me over here. Smoke Dog. The biggest banks in the world will use Ripple custody in 2025. Ripple's strategic partnership with Medico is no coincidence. And you know what's funny about this? I put out a post and I said, people seem to overlook the partnerships that Medico had prior to Ripple acquiring them. Here are all of the big banks that Medico had. Do you notice something? Citi, JP Morgan, BNY Mellon. Like, look at these bank names that are on this list. Outside of the US, you have DZ Bank and some other banks like that, right? That are some of the biggest players out there, Societe Generale, BBVA. But then we also look at the partnerships that Ripple has as well. PNC, HSBC, Santander. I mean, guys, Bank of America is on here. I mean, when we look at these names, they are very significant. And I even said, there are probably hundreds or even thousands of partnerships that we don't even know about due to NDAs. It's clear at this point that Ripple is becoming a monster in the banking and financial space. All paths will lead to XRP, in my opinion, as well, even with RLUSD, considering there will be many other stablecoins too, with XRP being a perfect bridge currency. And let's go back over here. We have Ripple's already aligned with tier 1 banks globally, securing partnerships that give them 80% coverage of the world's key trade corridors, not to even mention 90% of the FX market. Now with Trump expected to overturn the SAB 121 veto, US Tier 1 banks will finally gain the green light to custody digital assets. This regulatory shift opens the floodgates for utility token momentum, with Ripple's custody platform leveraging the XRP ledger to tokenize real-world assets. Imagine 80% of the world's trade corridors transacting tokenized RWAs via the XRP ledger. The infrastructure is already in place, and the documentation points to this becoming a reality. This isn't speculation, it's happening. Document it. If we actually look at the documents here, DLT organization, in my opinion, this is from Marcus Treacher, by the way. Ripple deals with 100 banks, including some of the biggest tier ones in the world. So we already cover over 80% of the world's crucial trade corridors. The names include India's Axis Bank, which I also do have Axis on this list. Here we have Axis down here. But if we go back, the National Bank of Abu Dhabi, the first Middle Eastern bank to use Ripple for cross-border payments. You also have, SEB, UBS, National Australian Bank, MHFG as well. It also has a global payment steering group. Outside of that, we also have Trump and his administration are undoubtedly in a positive development for the crypto market. We can expect a more fruitful regulatory environment for the U.S. crypto industry and Tier 1 banks to launch crypto custody solutions following a SAB 121 overturn. And then also over here, we got a red sweep. What are the implications? Nearly unanimously, bullish fundamentals just got amped up another notch. And here we have utility token being mentioned as well in terms of setting the stage for a utility token momentum. This is with like the new SEC chair, for example. An expected Trump overturn of Biden's SAB 121 veto invites U.S. Tier 1 investment banks to launch crypto custody services, which just makes sense. I mean, let's be honest here. It just makes sense. If enacted, it's set to cause a snowball effect of new nation states following suit. This is talking about a U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve. Structurally, nation state stockpiling leads to increased demand, supporting higher prices as well. Now, outside of that, we also have on the last slide here, Ripple Custody. The company says it now supports XRP Ledger tokenization features, enabling businesses to tokenize and manage a wide range of assets and RWAs. This integration also provides seamless access to the XRP Ledger's native decentralized exchange for efficient low fees trading of any tokenized asset, says the firms. And of course, this is also talking about just security in terms of the XRP Ledger integration for tokenizing RWAs. Ripple's custody technology offers a single platform for safeguarding and managing digital assets designed with the security and compliance standards that top global banks and financial institutions need. So listen, as we really look at what's going on here, yeah, it's very interesting that almost all of this leads back to what Ripple has been planning all along, which is Ripple Custody, right? Like this all-in-one package for these big banks and institutions to really kind of take over, if you will. It's crazy to me that, a lot of people don't see how this has all been planned. I don't see how this can't be planned. Ripple is in such an incredible, position right now that I just don't see a world where Ripple is not a major leader in this space. They are becoming the Amazon of crypto. And it's not me trying to be biased or, market Ripple, because I just don't care to support, Ripple. It's not like I, sit here and get paid by Ripple or anything like that to just like fully support them. No, if I see something that, I don't agree with, I will mention that. But what we are seeing from Ripple, they are becoming the Amazon of crypto. It's just facts. And then when we look at what they're actually using here, the XRP Ledger and XRP, guys, I've talked about it for years. The tech is unlike anything else. This is why I talk about Hedera. This is why I talk about Stellar. This is why I talk about Algorand. I talk about these projects because, guys, the entire environment around this space, it's setting the stage for these utility projects to take over. And we look at the connections, we look at, what some of these companies like Ripple are becoming, and it's very clear that they are becoming a monster in the banking and financial space, and they are set to grasp a large portion of that market. They have strategically planned ahead. They have strategically worked for years now to build this network. This is very important to focus on. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely have a like, subscribe, to notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.